We're looking at some examples of how to find a sample and deciding if they're biased or unbiased, and if they are biased, kind of what direction or form that bias is going to take. So our next example, Kyle is at Rocky Mountain National Park and is taking a survey to see what Colorado residents think of the access fee to the park. Okay, so my first thought when I read that is that the people that are in the park that he's talking to are all people who paid the fee to get in. So even if they found it a little bit on the expensive side, they were able to find that money in their budget. So my hunch is most of his results are going to say that the fee is okay. Maybe it's a touch on the high side. You might even have some people who say it's on the low side. Where you're going to get some undercoverage here is anyone who can't afford that fee. So we have no idea whether that's 1% of the residents of Colorado, 50% of the residents of Colorado, somewhere in between. We also don't know if there's specific subgroups that are unable to afford the fee or who find that fee too expensive. And so we're not going to know if we need to do some outreach or some different programs in order to guarantee that we're getting everybody into the park that wants to go. So a lot of problems with this. You're going to get some really biased results that mostly just say, yeah, things are okay. This next one, Monique is surveying people at the mall to determine the most popular TV show. Assuming that she's there kind of mornings, afternoons, weeknights, weekends, this will be a fairly unbiased sample in terms of determining the most popular TV show in town. You might get some undercoverage, such as maybe disabled people who aren't as mobile and weren't at the mall but do watch TV. You could be missing some people who are out at surgery or out on vacation, but in general, this should be at least reasonably okay. One concern might be if this is a big city and they have different malls in different parts of the city, that could really change those results. So you'd want to make sure you're at all those malls. But on the surface, assuming there's just one mall in town, she's kind of there a variety of different days and times, this should give you a reasonably unbiased look at what the most popular TV show is in town. All right, this next example is based on this question. You want to know how the residents of your town feel about adding a new stop sign. So we have 3 different strategies here. So the first one, you survey 20 residents who live closest to the new stop sign. Based on their results, you conclude 75% of the residents of your entire town support the new sign. Option B, you survey 100 residents at random, and based on those results, you conclude 40% of the residents of your town support the new sign. And then the third example, each of 25 randomly chosen firefighters supports the new sign. So our conclusion is 100% of the residents of the town support the sign. All right, so let's kind of go through these and decide which is the best strategy. This first one is a smaller sample size, so it is only 20. And I'm surveying all the people who would be right around where that proposed new sign is going to be. So they're probably going to have a lot stronger opinions because that sign directly impacts them because it's so close by. So that seems a little bit on the sketchy side. Option B, 100 residents is a pretty large number, so that's a good point. And it states that we're going to choose them at random. So those seem like some good characteristics to have. And then example C, the firefighters. Well, firefighters in general as a profession are concerned with safety. So it doesn't surprise me that they all think that this new stop sign is a good idea. However, if the entire town isn't made up of firefighters, then not everybody had a possibility of having their opinion asked for. And so this is not going to be very representative of the town as a whole. So our best option here is B, the 100 residents surveyed at random.